Well, it's a brand new week. Thank you very much for joining us. This is Serious Matters on ONIF TV. And of course, quite a number of news, making the rounds. We went to bed, as it were, last weekend with the case of the three boys that killed a young girl, these teenage boys who actually killed a young girl for rituals, and they were arrested. Well, thank you very much once again. Good morning. My name is Olukunle Brown. And of course, I'll be taking you on. At least the first one we would be looking at is this issue of the splitting of APC along different lines of beliefs, and which, of course, we are looking at might, affect the coming elections. And of course, we'll just do justice to that and then come to look at one or two other things. Yes. Now, governors and top leaders of the ruling All Progressive Congress (APC) are split over the presidential aspiration of the party's national leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The division is affecting zoning of national workers. I beg your pardon. Zoning of National Working Committee (NWC) and National Executive Committee (the NEC) office ahead of the February 26th National Convention. A top party source told Vanguard weekend that, contrary to perceptions, Asiwaju Tinubu is not desperate to become president in 2023, but wants agreements to be honored. Now, that's interesting to hear, but then he'd be interested in what the agreements are. What was the agreements that is being mentioned here. Now, top founders of the party know that President Buhari promised to hand over to Tinubu in 2023. Now, if they don't want to fulfill that promise, they have to sit down with Tinubu and discuss. This is, it's becoming interesting. It's becoming interesting because insinuations are becoming real. Like, oh, okay, this was the agreement. Okay, that he will hand over to Asiwaju when it's true and all of that. Now, we'll come back to that. Tinubu has to be respected. You can't treat him as nobody and expect him to keep quiet and do nothing. He is a Democrat, the source said. He is a Democrat, the source said. Although the APC governors have taken charge of the party, they are yet to agree on Tinubu and chairmanship candidate. Some of the governors are Tinubu and are watching to see how things unfold. They are supporting or not, even some are not, they're caught in between two, and so not being there, and also, as if they are not there on this side. Now, the whole thing is looking very, very interesting at this point. According to the source, President Buhari is not averse to a southeasterner succeeding him and may be eyeing a minister from the zone as his successor. Remember that President Buhari said he will not mention his desired successor, but then you remember he mentioned that he doesn't want him eliminated. So we don't know. We don't really know. But President Buhari, the new next week, said his choice of favored successor would shock people. A reason he said he would keep the identity of the person secret. Now, because, for me, this is a serious matter. So let's just look at it. Now, there was an agreement. From this news, there was an agreement when President Muhammad Buhari was being fielded and he was coming into office. It was already known then that he will spend 8 years. Because I overheard, another party saying that they were going to, one of the prospective candidates in that party is saying they will do 1 year, 4 years. I laugh. Because once they get into power, they will go through. They will go through. And always recall that Nigeria's president is one of the most powerful presidents in the world. We very, very powerful. I don't know how we came about this, but this is interesting. Which makes Nigeria very, 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 very delicate to handle. And so you wonder why we are being the target of, insurgencies that are being sponsored from outside the country. somehow to weaken the strength of this country. My beliefs. Some names have been mentioned as likely successors or favored successors. They include former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, Transport Minister Mr. Rotimi Amechi, Labour and our Employment Minister Dr. Chris Ngige, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, Timper Silva, and Mr. Emeka Nwajoba, amongst others. Well, I didn't see the name of Vice President there. Okay, let's just leave that alone. On 2023 presidency, the source said the party must find a way to assuage the feelings of Tinubu and some founders of the party who are gunning for the presidential ticket because promises were made to them during the formation of the party. Interesting. Agreements. There were agreements, and if there were agreements, then in fact, personally, I'll now begin to look at the way things are going to unfold. If there was an agreement in that party, then my point will be that, okay, yes, it shouldn't be that the president is going to hand over to him, but I think the agreement should be that he will be given the presidential ticket of the party. He will be handed the presidential ticket of his party, because there are other parties too. We cannot override the fact that there are other parties, there are other people who will be running for the seat of the president, who are qualified also to become president of the country. So we cannot override that. So as much as possible, we're going to follow this up and see how this unfolds. Now, they have been saying that promises were made to some persons, during the formation of that parties. And so people are standing on those promises. Now, if the party cannot fulfill the promises in 2023, the party has to meet and plead with them. And so we'll follow that up and see how that goes on. Now, if that party treats them with contempt, they are ready to stand their ground, and it will affect the party in 2023 election. That's a fact. That's the truth, because these people are top people. You cannot push Asiwaju aside in APC. In fact, in the politics of Nigeria, since personally I know that you can't push Asiwaju. He's a politician. He's a politician and a Democrat, because and who has people who are following him, who love him, and all of that. APC no longer a political party, but election platform. Ex-PGF DG laments. Meanwhile, the immediate past Director General of the Progressive Governors Forum, PGF Salihu Mo Lukman, has lamented the dwindling democratic fortune of the ruling APC, saying the party was now more of an election platform without any ideological bent. Lukman, in a statement in Abuja yesterday, described the reality as very disturbing, noting that APC today wasn't the APC of the period 2013 to 2015. He said, outside President Muhammadu Buhari, there were very few elected leaders in APC who were still committed to the founding vision of the party to provide leadership to to change Nigeria's politics. He said, given where the nation is coming from under PDP, changing Nigeria's politics would require departure from requiring citizens to be blindly loyal to elected leaders. He said it should require that citizens and parties, members, are free to disagree and criticize elected leaders. In other words, politics of change should produce elected leaders who should be highly tolerant and, where possible, even accommodate disagreements. Which, of course, is actually that is politics, and that is democracy. That is democracy. That is democracy. It says criticism as part, they must accommodate criticism as part of the process of decision making. It's part of it. You agree to disagree. This may sound like wishful thoughts. The truth, however, is that our dear APC is being held captive by some few leaders whose interest is only about imposing themselves as candidates for election. And, well, I don't know, it's left for you to decide who those words are for, or those statements are actually directed at. So long as it's the case, it means what we have as APC today wasn't the parties negotiated and produced out of our legacy parties. Now, it says rather than the Envision party, which allows for internal debates and disagreements among party leaders and members based on which there could be negotiations and agreements. APC today has been diminished to only an election platform, which is what the founding leaders and members wanted to change. The commitment to change the profile of political parties beyond being an election platform was precisely part of why Nigerians supported the APC. In 2015, he stated, and I think that should be the platform or the case, as it were. That's what's supposed to be, the continuity of what we are supposed to be seeing. And I clearly understand his statement. Yes, there might have been some agreements, in 2015, yes. But then if those agreements have changed, then they should be the same way they sat down to agree on these things. The same way they should come back and agree again. Look, I'm beginning to think differently. This was the way we were thinking then. A number of people who were in that party at that time had died. Top political leaders in that party had died. So, and I'm sure some of those people had a say even at that time. And you never can tell. Some of the people who brought about the ideas that you are using might even not be alive today. And so there's nothing wrong with changing them if we think we're going to get something better. I mean, if you said somebody was going to be president, if you say I'm going to hand over to so person, and by the time this person finishes, that other person is no more alive, what do we do? Or that person is on a sick bed, what do we do? Do you go give him the power in the hospital, or what is that? So I think there should be room, like he said, there should be room for negotiations. There should be room for agreements and disagreements, in the party. They shouldn't allow the party should just become an election platform, where some people just impose themselves as candidates. Now, the commitment to change the profile of the political party is beyond being an election platform. It was, like he said, was one of the reasons why Nigerians supported them in 2015. He said, unlike the case of the PDP, APC was extremely lucky to have a leader in President Muhammadu Buhari who does not meddle in the affairs of the party. Lukman added, sadly, this became the license for party leaders to abuse the trust of both the president and majority of party leaders and members. Over time, this has damaged the profile of the APC to the point whereby, based on the conduct of leaders and some elected representatives of the party, it is difficult to associate the APC with its founding vision of the change. Problems of intolerance to disagreement and criticism with some leaders expecting members to be blindly loyal to becoming a common attribute. Views of party leaders become dominantly decisions of party organs, even when consultation takes place and there is a clear division. So long as the division or decision are not what some view party leaders want, those decisions will not be implemented. It doesn't matter whether President Muhammadu Buhari was part of the consultation and in the agreement with the decision. They would still have to look at some other things. Propensity to disrespect decisions and party leaders, including the president, is very high today in the APC. Every founding leader and member of the APC must rise to challenge the arrest the drift in the party. Few individual leaders of the party must not be allowed to continue to impose themselves and destroy a party with potentials to provide the needed democratic platform, needed for the change that Nigeria has always dreamed and desired for. As it is today, APC is the only party where contestation is taking place again, thanks to President Buhari, who is providing unbiased leadership to the party. It is possible for ordinary members to express themselves, including disagreeing with decisions of leaders of the party. This unique leadership of President Buhari has helped a lot to sustain the hope of both party members, leaders, and Nigerians' desires of a political change. Beyond the unbiased leadership of President Buhari, there is a need for all party leaders and members committed to the political change to ensure the emergence of a party leader at the February 26, 2022 National Convention, who must be tolerant to criticism and disagreement and should not expect members to blindly follow or be loyal to him. Above all, it says APC is to return to its founding vision of driving the process of change in Nigeria. It must produce leaders who would be able to compel elected representatives produced by parties to be accountable to Nigeria. Well, that's it from that end, that party is having some issues at the moment, and we're still looking at what's going to be the outcome, because the convention is fast approaching. And recall that Ashiwaju is out of the country, while some said that he went for rest, and some said, oh, why would he, a president, somebody who are we not going to have another issue like this? And he's already tired, he needs health, attention and all of that. No, if one of his aides has come out to say that he only went on further consultation. You know that he has not declared publicly that he wants to become president, but then he had gone to make his intention known to the president, which of course is the first thing to be done, which and he while he was leaving the State House that day, he said that he's going on consultations, and the consultation has continued even in the UK. And so let's wait and see how things unfold. Thank you very, very much for watching. This is still Serious Matters. As much as possible, make your comments simple and civil. You are free to drop your comments, and do share this video with others. Let others know what is happening. And of course, when you join or when you open our page at onifstv.com, ONIF TV Reporters, also you check our Facebook page and all of that, you would find other interesting news. This is just Serious Matters on ONIF TV.